quite a
Iron side, man, side.
Hopefully it gets fixed.
It's true.
Glacial.
Pro gamer to know like if you keep
Glacial.
off, it feels like really bad.
I can't even say it with a straight face, man.
I mean, also, as far as bans, you mentioned that there's been Ash bans. There were also 4 Kalista bans against Prey. So as far as champions that have
kan man bara få de här skinsen som är uppe så att säga? Så du kan inte få Shamrock.
Well, I believe they have ran the Kalista Kennen, much like SK Telling. They ran it one game. Exactly, yeah. So that's a really strong combo. If you take out the Kalista, you
oh my god, we're so pretty, okay.
Take out the Kennen as well by proxy.
Yeah, you think the Kalista takeaway would be less priority because in his career he's only played Kalista 6 times and he's 50% win rate on that particular champion. So it's not like when we think about Korean 80 Kalistas players, Prey doesn't really come to mind. We're talking about Bang, we're talking about OQ, these guys. But Prey still drawing those bans.
Yep, and drawing those engineers and computer repairmen over to his desk as well right now. But the crowd's still pumped. It's still KT versus Q. We know we're going to get to see some games. Even if we have situations like, you know, Mord and Gangplank coming into a game undefeated, and then still leaving the day undefeated.
Anything can happen at the World Championship, Joe.
That's true.
This just shows you the endless possibilities within League of Legends.
It's a wonderful thing. It's a world of rainbows, possibilities.
And wards.
And wards.
Yeah, the points
Lots of wards for KT.
The point Zyrene brought up on the desk was the fact that they place 4.3 wards per minute, which is the highest of all teams at Worlds. But specifically, I did a little bit of digging into how they do that. Because
okej, ska vi välja ut en GP så vi bara fokuserar honom.
how you activate your wards without spending a whole bunch of money on it. That's what
Här har vi han.
the best about KT's ward strategy. They upgrade trinkets.
Days of Wrath. Det är våran.
Faster and more frequently than all others.
Nice utanför busken.
Top lane and mid lane. So Someday and Nagne upgrade.
Men LOL på deras system, okej.
In every game. A lot of other mid laners will go sweeper early, and then additionally, Peekaboo has the earliest.
Jag skiter i dig, Battle Bunny.
All supports at Worlds. He gets it at on average 7 minutes.
You will die, okay.
True damage.
Also recalls more than other supports to refill his Sightstone more frequently. So
kill
you're
it!
actually getting these wards down, free of gold cost, but obviously there's the time investment.
It makes a lot of sense or in the enemy jungle.
Well, it also says a lot about how KT likes to play the game. They like the vision-heavy style because they split push. That's what he really does very well. He knows his limits, and part of split pushing is making sure you're safe while doing so. So the ward upgrade is very important. Also, what interestingly that says about KT with Peekaboo and his
Fan, vi dödade fel. Men här vi skulle fokusera.
Always has been. He's in lane alone a lot, and these teams in the laning phase.
Vill du ta han eller?
Gorilla likes to roam, Peekaboo likes to roam, Prey and Arrow are used.
Okej, du blir level 2 före mig.
On their own.
And I think it also speaks even more to KT's playstyle and whether or not this can be exploited by the two Tigers, because with them having the highest, it enables them to farm all 3 lanes in the mid game, specifically between the 15 and 30-minute mark. KT Rolster has the most CS of any team at World because they are so proficient at farming in safe places and not getting punished with that.
See.
You know, and things like that make that Mordekaiser pick for KT that one game even more surprising. I mean, obviously it's a big priority. Obviously it's a very strong champion right now, but it's not really.
Jag försökte timer.
That KT or Arrow you would play. They were able to win with it. It looked a bit awkward. It's like we may finally have Prey up and ready. We'll see.
Yeah,
how he feels about it.
The keyboard has been resolved, but they're doing quick tests. I think they're letting him pop in a quick custom game, make sure everything feels right, and then
the counterpoint. So where you're talking about the
noobs
differential at 15 to 30. So we were looking at those numbers earlier today.
Q tror jag är bäst.
CS between 15 to 30 minutes for KT.
Det beror på, alltså. Om man går armor tidigt så är det bättre med E. Jag tror det är så i alla fall. Okej. Fight-kungen. Ligger ändå i blodet.
The first 15 minutes are quite similar, though, in terms of both have a lot of kills in the first 15 minutes compared to their opponent. We're getting into champ select.
It is time. Picks and ban for KT Rolster versus the Ku Tigers game 1. Looks like Kennen and Gangplank will be our first couple bans here.
Känns som att vi inte dödar mina 6.
Typ. The eternal struggle med Malphite.
Not too surprising. Is Border Kaiser going to get through though? Because again, you know, KT's style doesn't really tailor to that very well. They did play it once, but I wonder if Ku is going to kind of hang this in front of them.
Now, I'm curious what they're going to do, because the last time these two teams faced off, we saw Ku banning out Azir, Cassiopeia, Shen. Now, Cassiopeia not really in the meta, but some picks very much focused in Gnage. And the Shen now, even though we haven't seen as much of it in the top lane, Peekaboo, for the first time ever, played Shen supported World. So now it is a flex pick for KT. I think there is a
jävlar.
on Hodin's champion pool right now, especially if
jag baitar Jocke.
Nej. 2 Elise games, 2 Lee Sin games, and 2 Rek'Sai games thus far at Worlds, and 2 bans have already been targeted specifically.
Hojin is known for having pocket-pick junglers like Trundle or Sion that he's been actually quite successful on, but it's going to be a Darius first.
Wow, so focusing the jungle bans and still giving the jungle options over. They want that Darius. Is Tom Kench going to go over to the Ku Tigers? It is.
Slap that
Tom
barrel.
Kench and Rek'Sai. Strong couple picks for Ku right off the bat. Smeb's happy about it.
Tom Kench is so tremendous in this world. Also, Gorilla has been putting in the hours to make it one of the best champions in his pool. It is his most
really?
Here in European Solo Queue Edition.
Yeah, and he's played 6 different picks so far. A unique support in each one of the Ku Tigers teams. This is only the second or the first time that he's actually going to be on a support again. But I think he had the best Tom Kench game of anybody so far at the World Championship.
Kom igen, jag vill ha ulti. Jag har en Q. Oh wow. True damage.
Both supports getting some of their best
lugnt,
I think you can say right now. I think so. I think KT's actually been fairly conservative with this early pick phase. I also don't think they gained a huge amount of value from their bans. We are seeing Rek'Sai versus Gragas. Pretty much the junglers we see in every game. And Ku will bring out the Ashe the 3rd time in a row that it has not been banned.
It's interesting that we're seeing it paired with an Ashe and not a hyper carry like Jinx that we've seen most of the other times. Are we going to see the Kalista from KT? Interesting stuff happening here from the Ku side.
Absolutely, because we've also seen Arrow mainly playing hyper carries. Kog'Maw and Jinx have been two major picks. Specifically, he's done the most damage per minute on Kog'Maw, which he's played 3 times. It's what you'd expect that to I feel like.
It does, but does it play into the Ashe?
It does, definitely plays into the Ashe.
I think you take Kalista here and this is a bit of an round from KT because almost always very confident in the Darius.
B.
Top lane on blue side against SKT in the Summer Championship. They took this and it really didn't work out for them. So I always get a little worried when I start seeing KT now first picking top laners.
Nagne is going to go with that LeBlanc in the mid lane. We were talking about this before the match day. There's a mid lane Vanguard for Kuro. So Kuro versus LeBlanc, and Smeb, of course, taking that Fiora up to the top lane. Maybe we'd see the mid ribbon, but nope. It's going to be
at first glance, I'm not a fan of KT's draft right now. They picked
Okej, nu kan jag med jävlar med slåss. Tar vi battle bunny eller?
I feel like if you're going to be straight into a Tom Kench, you need to pick a large amount of AoE damage. And also, they don't have very good ways of dealing with Kuro's Vanguard if he starts to get ahead. So there's a lot of different ways KT can lose this game.
Well, we've seen the dangerous stuff that can happen. If you hook somebody that Tom Kench away with. Thresh can go on a very sad voyage. You don't fish for cats.
Jag går bort så du får solo exp.
Go with the hand. Go with the hand.
You got a noodle?
Got a noodle.
You're bringing it in again.
The blitz
We're not 10 minutes into this cast already.
Catfish with barrel in this game. Score's going to just knock him right back.
I think so. Like shooting fish with a barrel this time, I
brute
guess.
force.
Who knows? Yep. A barrel gun. No, it's gonna. Well, that sounds like the name of a real gun. Maybe it is. I don't know, they banned here. But it's time, guys. We're moving on to the risk.
Vilken lam damage vi hade. Vi måste ha en jävla Morello alltså för deras fucking heal. Vi fick ut en ulti av dem.
And it is time, guys. Who's ready for some League of Legends? Okay, I'm ready, I guess. All right, that's enough. That's enough for me.
I'm assuming Monty is ready as well.
I feel pretty ready.
All right, game one. Resorting to reading the screen in the front now. There we go. Welcome to Summoner's Rift.
Är det diven eller?
And it will be a teleport for Nagnes LeBlanc. That's been
Definitely is. Expected on the Vagar, but now I wonder what the strategy is going to be. Nagne has been, both of these players actually are LeBlanc players, which is a bit surprising.
Oh shit.
Normally they're
We can heal!
and they don't
Oh.
actually play
Nej! Vad creeps! Åh men åh! Så ligger du i kanten! Kanten Jocke, oh man! Tror fan när man maxar healen alltså. Känns det inte så?
Fast det scalear ju på ju mindre hopp de har desto mer heal.
Så kanske.
I'd say even harder because he's not able to win the lane phase through Summoner Spell.
Yeah, and maybe they can get some sort of advantage out of the laning phase and start split pushing, but one thing that Prey is
Give me that CDR man.
and that was a major factor in the first win against CLG.
Båda topshot tank, ja men då får ju vi gå dips då.
Watching the enemy jungler and being able to set up plays on the mid
Malfight.
as a result, so that's something that we usually don't see on the screen, more just on the mini-map, but it's something you should be keeping an eye on.
Alla deras GP går väl mongo dem. Ja, alla kör Trinity. Static. Föga otippat. Ja, vadå? Tank Malfight gör ont också som fan. Jag skulle kunna ulta. Eller?
In the event horizon, and Curl can actually react to after Nagne has burned the damage. He can still get out. The only thing you can do is place the event horizon.
Surprise motherfucker, verkligen. Oh really?
He picked himself into the matchup, so clearly he's got some confidence against this. He can follow it up. Gorilla harassing Peekaboo. Peekaboo plays him in. There's the third. Peekaboo forced to flash away. Doesn't want to get eaten by that top 10.
Really early troubles here, Peekaboo.
Oh.
Definitely is punished for it quite quickly into this game, and they wanted to have an advantage. Just start status that the CD carry has, and just not going to get it now with a flash down.
Getting the lead right now by Prey and Gorilla. Score coming down. Yes, so far for Arrow.
Yeah, Ash's early laning phase is actually tremendously underrated. It's one of the strongest laners in the right situation. It's made even stronger here by the fact that Prey did drop about 5 seconds faster. So they very easily got the first.
De här två är riktiga stjärnor du.
So he had to use his That's actually a pretty big
Jaha.
there. If you know, you should know that you're going to be out-leveled.
I don't know about this. Vad händer? I'm burning.
Night.
Standard lanes up.
Jag har 13 sekunder till ulti så vi kör när du kommer tillbaka då. Då borde din också vara redo. Har du någon CDR än eller?
Ja, Morella.
Ja, du har Morella. Åh, vad jag vill köra Jocke. Det kliar.
Nu, hinner. Jag försöker på den där minionen ifall den där är.
Actually, that kill was caused by Nagne's teleport because Smeb could have retreated backwards, but the teleport LeBlanc secures first blood. He doesn't get anything out of it, so he loses mid lane pressure, but the top lane matchup is much more important for the team.
I am
Du
so
behövde inte samla
surprised
ut.
that you'd see that pull of all in from Someday because he was really willing to scrap, but Nagne had the time in
Cool
the
down
play
boost,
to
va?
make the teleport up there, so it's all coordinated. We can see there's no Vagar right there, and so LeBlanc easily able to respond to this, walking up the river.
Jag köper CKS till dig Johan.
Yeah, Smeb was able to
Skojar bara.
outplay the first Destiny like inside the
Crit Malfight. Bam.
because the junglers were engaged down bottom. That last forward though was the instant Smeb regretted his decision and gives up first blood.
Jag gank med.
Jocke!
just a bit. And someday, wow, not wasting any time going aggressive on the
Nej, really? Kommer en till här också.
Sustain. Smeb is kind of lacking.
Yeah, with that one item advantage is going to be very difficult for Smeb to walk up on the Vineyard Wave right now. So here's Hojin ready to help.
Back Hojin comes in there. They know that Darius has no flash. Ward's thrown down. Someday in a lot of trouble.
What have I done?
Take him up before he gets to the turret with that slow. I think they can the heal. Someday pulls him in. Oh, and he gets 1 for 1. Someday already doing work on that Darius.
Just getting the Decimate off cooldown, people getting the heal in was enough to buy him time to get back under the turret. And I love this Fiora Darius matchup. It is so fun to watch in this top side. Smeb will get a kill in response, but it's been a wild one so far.
It really feels like Fiora Darius is the essence of what they say when we call it a skill matchup. Because it really depends on how they play, it depends on the item timings, different breakpoints come out throughout the game that gives either one an advantage. And that was honestly a perfectly timed gank by Hojin, but Someday executed well enough in the escape that he traded the kill back. That gank almost entirely, but instead they just traded a kill and Someday made it small.
Yep, pretty much picks up that long sword while Smeb
tar här eller?
Meanwhile, a little bit of action in the bot lane. And this one could get a bit bloody overall too. I mean, coming into this, besides SK Telecom, had the highest kills per game, the lowest deaths per game, so they really know how to make the plays.
Well, not only that, though.
Level 6 here.
Oh, time to dive.
Yep. So take turret first, so they can stack up bleed stacks if they want to go, but they're a little sloppy on the initiation there.
Yeah, Someday took a couple of shots right there walking back under the turret, so they're not going to be able to pull that one off quite yet. All right, stepping right there.
Yes, that's enough poke that they're going to want to pressure Smeb off this turret or force a Rek'Sai to come up elsewhere. They haven't had eyes on Hojin, so there's a little bit of trepidation on this game. They're wondering if Rek'Sai is going to come through, but they have all the answers covered, so they think this is pretty much the same time they want to go.
Should these scores right there?
Oh, han är
They know where Hojin is, and they're actually going to give that one up for the moment. Recall for Someday, so will they decide to go for it? Smash down, and doesn't look like anything's going to happen right now. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Kuro has fallen.
Tror du Sonjas nu va?
Yes, but you kind of expect that.
Let's go.
And when it comes to the early game, we briefly touched on this before, but in the first 15 minutes of the game, Ku was up 3.2 kills for every death that they had. And KT was at 2.25 kills for every death that they had.
Oh really?
So one of those things will change.
One of those things will change.
Det är du som får ulta tror jag.
They've been very successful at acquiring kills early.
Jag har ulti också.
Two teams at World so far.
Ingen månad då.
In terms of kill to death ratio, 3-15 minutes.
Someday going at it again.
Entirely decided. It's the cost target by the team, and also Darius being able to whichever one of those.
Nej, jag går in i den.
Yes, nearly dead even though. Someday protecting himself against some ganks, which you know Hojin really wants to make. I don't know, we seem to have hit a bit of a lull in the action for now.
Many.
At the moment, Ku is actually swapping the lanes, and the question will be whether this was scouted out by KT because they haven't pinged anyone missing. Here
Are you looking for a challenge? Whoa, the entire Ku team almost showing up. There's Nagne as well, came in with his teleport. Someday is going to get taken out, and now they're going to go after Nagne. Might catch him though. Whoa, big barrel from Score, and Kuro takes a couple big turret hits.
Han flashar, ultar, jagar mig.
Man, everybody wanted to beat Smeb in that top lane.
Well, they needed to shut him down, right? He was
Vill ha blå
much of an advantage, so they sent all 5 people up into that top side to go ahead and make a play right here. We did see
Jocke tar blå då.
hit that level 6, try and come in very quickly, and they caught Someday unaware. And now KT scrambling to get this turret.
Yeah. KT is now trying to respond to Ku's great lane swap that sent 5 people up top. I think overall, the fact that KT was able to keep 2 people down in the bottom lane.
Jag kan offra mig, jag har
pretty close. Mainly that gank top lane was Ku's way out of matchups. They were losing that top lane extremely badly. It's actually something the Flash Wolves did against Ku, who had a huge amount of pressure early on in the game, is they lane swapped their AD carry and support top lane later on in the game to equalize it. Now they're trying to swap back, but they might be out of position.
Oh, it's fighting time in the bot lane. Arrow comes in, throws Pickaboo towards Prey. Prey, like Gorilla, a lot of trouble, has to pop that E. Throws himself over to the other Ku players coming in. Nagne backing away. Smeb with the first kill on to Nagne. Ku with an early lead in this fight. Someday and Arrow a little bit of trouble. Pickaboo already on the way out, and Someday gets knocked up by Hogan. The red side's going to be another kill. Smeb grabs it yet again.
All 5 members of Ku are always in the same place. I mean, Gorilla coming in with the Tom Ketchel in the first fight. This time just being there, altering the size of the map, trying to catch up with KT, and it's working. First dragon.
And I'm wondering what is
Thank you, buddy.
KT's heads right now, because and they have been the team that's got upgraded yellow trinket every single game, but this match they've got.
Det kändes som jag siktade på den andra. Då måste jag komma över precis.
Vad kastade du där?
Ja.
And they are actually losing because they're not tracking where Ku is on the map. They are not doing the things that they have done throughout all of the group stage in order to become 5-1 and get here, and they're getting punished because of it.
Well, this is looking good for Ku because KT has been opting into these fights. The bad side of what Ku is doing is that you try and load 5 people into one lane, and you lose pressure across 2 lanes on the map. So it's been functional because KT has been willing to scrap out with them.
Oh wow, lag. Ja, min gubbe och Gameplank hackar i varandra så här. Ping pong, ping pong, ping pong. Det kommer ju okej.
Stats come up there too. KT actually, surprisingly, they're 5-1 in the group stage, but they actually lost more dragons. Meanwhile, the Tigers lost more dragons focused, about 2-to-1 ratio on those dragons secured versus lost. So KT really needs to tighten up their control over that objective. And if you're Ku coming in, if you start to think, hey, maybe we should prioritize this, try for that 5 dragon stack, and that's what's going on.
Ultim 10 har de.
No!
All of a sudden, Smeb out 0-1. 4
kills.
They managed to keep Someday down, and I think what they're doing is so smart, because it's when Someday starts to get ahead and become that unstoppable split pusher that KT really gets rolling. So they're just throwing a wrench in the gears there.
It seems too that like Pickaboo and Score have not been able to do what Pickaboo and Score are kind of known for doing, which is get the enemy jungle, put down a lot of wards. You look at the map right now, not a lot of KT wards on the group side. The thing is these two teams know each other really, really well. Who knows exactly what KT wants to do with their jungle and Score. They're doing a great job of stopping it.
Jag har den, jag har.
Gonna get a free turret right here.
Älskar den där ulten i mörkret.
At this point though, Ku will need to get some actual deep wards. The hawk shot a little bit. Mainly able to get that turret. Was that Missile Void to getting out?
So yeah, what happened was they didn't have a lot of force in the river, so they were afraid that they were going to get collapsed on, especially
we are
once the long
split.
teleport was up. So they go ahead and use the time Kenchul just to secure the turret and get out.
Makes sense.
And this is what I love about this Abyssal Voyage is as this tournament has progressed, we see more and more use of the Tom Kenchul.
Slap them creeps.
Interesting or flashy ways. More and more ways to use it as the players get more comfortable with this champion.
Well, between 2 teleports and Drexile and Tom Kenchul, Ku can basically be anywhere on the map they want.
You know, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
I think that may be one of the reasons Nagne, instead of going for Ignite, went for Teleport, because they were
va?
Although I feel like KT is shooting themselves in the foot here. Not upgrading yellow trinkets early, going Fishing sweeper on the LeBlanc when Nagne. They are getting a little bit outrun. They are going to be more vulnerable to picks, I feel like, because who has the initiation tool with the
and we're getting into the point now. We talked about 30s.
A bit of action onto Kuro, but Nagne not really finding anything.
Alltså, det här ljudet.
Helps against a champion like Vega that doesn't have a lot of maneuverability.
15 minutes. They like to farm a lot.
Undrar om jag kan ta den här.
So we'll see who gets the better end of this, because KT has been a great farm in all 3 lanes, but Ku, this is when they want the plays to happen. They want to fight you, they want to skirmish. You see the mass wards are starting to come down as they gain control over the topside river.
Now things are starting to swing just a bit, but they've got to protect this mid lane turret. Who takes this out? Along with the bottom lane, they'll have really good dragon control. KT, though, going to deny them for now.
Oh shit!
I'm exhausted. Jag kommer. Nej!
Nej!
How hard can it be? Come on, Q, get on that. Seriously.
Oh, free gold everywhere.
He's pushing up to the top lane as well.
Yeah, I will say though, we mentioned the 10 to 15 minute jump that Ku had so heavily in the group stage, the largest of any team. They actually averaged 2,300 gold advantage specifically.
Det är bra att vi har 2 tank Malphite. So calculated.
They had a 2,000 gold jump between the 10 and 15 minutes against KT in this game. They have been very good at making that nice rotation that leads to a team fight win against pretty much every team in the world.
Oh, nice. No, don't stand in.
It did help!
Bait.
There's like a pile of dragon bones at the bottom. Maybe they shouldn't be.
There's like a big dragon cave underneath it.
No, it's not really good bait.
It's
only master bait.
He's like, George, it's your turn. They open the door and he flies out and everyone's like, oh, I'm so jealous. I'll be next. Little did they know. It's really messed up when you think about it.
And then like 25 seconds later, these teams get
knows that.
6 items, Hampus.
Thank you. Har du likadana?
Ja, man tappar ju sig.
Exakt likadana. Ska vi... Fast jag kan inte ha sånges på 1. Jag tänkte lägga dem likadant.
Även om du flyttar så flyttas de inte.
Nej, jag kollade på han. Alltså vänsterklicka på hans gubbe.
As in the favor of a team with a lead as they kind of should be. There's already a Negatron cloak on Nagne. A lot of this would
actually you will lose.
Created by Ku, which is why I think they're waiting. To just group up and dare them to fight, but they can actually...
Vi tar han är arg. Sätt. 3, 2, 1.
Sure what Sunday was thinking. They're right into
Inte den vägen.
Yeah, one of the strangest things about
Flash kill mig då.
100% sure who's
Kommer dö.
so maybe he didn't think he was going to come right.
Jag gillar att du går upp här och sen hit. Paniken.
He should have seen the beginning of the Rent Horizon because he was stunned the instant he came in. And it's 4th death there for Someday. He's actually getting punished really hard.
He was playing so well in the early game, but now I really feel like a lot of desperation coming in from Someday here in the mid lane. And he should feel desperate with KT falling farther behind, losing that second dragon.
Wow, vad damage han gör på våran Malphite.
Oh, Gorilla. He's fishing.
I feel like fights that begin by Tahm Kench taking damage almost always favor the Tahm Kench. My experience through all of the Tahm Kench games at Worlds.
That fight, Nagne ended up blowing his team trying to come in from behind. Really disjointed, poor engage there from KT.
I wonder how experienced they are with playing with this double teleport. That's a huge thing in Korea. That I feel like the teams from that region are learning a bit about.
It's definitely something that many of the teams here at Worlds from across regions have had to take a lot more seriously. We thought this
Ku ser bra ut första gamet.
going to go with the World Championship, just given the champion pools and the opportunity to do so.
Good for Fnatic.
The double teleport was more for the controlling mages that don't have solo killers. I didn't necessarily expect to see teleport on an assassin. Yeah, because then you can out-pressure the person teleporting and stop his ability to TP. 1-1.
Especially since they have to kill this Veigar early in the late game, and they could do that.
I think this is part 2.
Sneaky on the side, using the control of the vision, but not going to be quite so much of an option.
Kolla min.
Yep.
Jag har ingen ult.
That mid lane now.
What?
I will bet.
Almost everything that is currently valued in the game.
Jag tryckte på kupan.
Scaling, great siege, great wave clear. He can assassinate other switches coming at him. He's a strong fighter. Only weakness is his mobility. He is attackable in that sense, but if you're positioned well in the hands of a good player, it is one of the most powerful mid lane picks.
Yeah, we talked about him kind of as a new Victor, a little bit less mobility, but single target damage, the ability to punish AP champions both in the top lane should they come through.
Well, man, if you get hit by an
Hallås liggandes på rad.
ticket for Veigar to walk up and destroy you.
I mean,
Instant death.
You're not living through getting hit by an Ash Arrow if the two Tigers fire it, because they're going to chain it straight into Event Horizon, and that's going to be it.
Yeah, and they're going to take the mid lane turret.
And that's the siege right there, Event Horizon around the turret. So if you want to walk up the wave clear, you're walking to your own death. Unless you can set up flanks, but at the time, it's a really smart move. Who is actually especially if they're using their Event Horizon situation, but they were very safe to do so.
He's doing such a good job of the group like that. You let the other lanes get behind, but they've got enough pressure across lanes now. They've got the time to do that, I guess.
The pushing pressure really isn't there for KT.
I suppose they have to.
Arrow's still waiting on that Ruin's Hurricane, so he can't life. So this is a great time for Ku just to set up this Veigar siege.
Yep.
Look at the kiting right there. There's just nothing coming in. Shoot out that volley, put down the Event Horizon, and there aren't very many options. It really is up to something and not here. The arrow has to so important.
Var det där 3 Q?
Ku just can't move.
Jag har ulti.
Ja. Holy shit!
Kanske inte så bra som det som de tog.
But it was fun though. We had fun, guys. Ni ligger efter mig. Jag är inte snygg, guys. Kom igen. Köp som jag. Nice, nice. Jorma. Jocke.
I don't have many.
You don't have many, but
This is Rabadon C. And the last is Relay? No? Yes?
Relay?
Eller?
Relay?
it doesn't work.
See, it works.
You
See, but double slow, and then we buy Frozen Mallet.
And if Ku gets 3 in a row, KT is
Always Frozen Mallet and Realize.
They're worried now. They'll be terrified.
You can knows.
Men det sålde ni. Ja, nej. Jag fick köpa budget.
Oh, you're so smart. Oh, you're so smart. Jorma. Little Malphite.
Oh, goes to Hojin. Whoops. Hojin. Actually haven't seen that much.
Hey, hey, hey.
It's actually been surprisingly interesting. I think this is the first one high.
Jag tror han är done typ. Det brukar vara ett item att köpa när man är done.
what Kuro wants to do to Nagne as soon as
Kan man
he
köra
gets
ult
in,
i flash?
he placed the event horizon right on the
Nej.
start of the distortion, so Nagne was either trapped inside
Flash ulti
or
får
he
du.
had to go back and stun himself, ends up burning his sit on.
A lot of help on that. Tigers. That tier 2 in mid lane now. Score trying to come from the side, but he's getting killed a bit.
Now the teleport.
That's right, teleport coming in. And
där
tries to do a bit of damage.
Vi är inga Garens direkt.
Keep Trojan right up.
Inga vi-help.
Right on the ground, I guess.
Vi är Malfi.
Example of why Tom Kent is spectacular against pick competitions. As soon as someone
Okej.
Wow.
waddle over.
They have waited to clear.
Jag kan gå in först. För att få ihop alla. Jag gör så här. 3, 2, 1.
Wow.
Fan.
Nice.
I kind of feel bad for that. And then some guy shows up that can not only burrow like you can, but can
Where are the
hold on
creeps?
to the ride in his mouth. It's like,
This I wonder. Fuck, jag har blod.
It's like being started by the Blue Tigers. And will KT be able to stop this? They need to stop this.
If there was a time to stop it, it would be now.
Jag hör bara yes, win.
Coming in, waiting to try to
Something.
Drag out the moment. Oh, Star takes a dragon. For KT also, Arrow comes in on the Arrow. He's going to fight this. Trying to kite away. Kuro
Jävlar vad han var tanky.
he's in trouble. No, gets picked up.
10 sekunder runt.
In fact, Someday got that kill. And now KT comes in. A huge apprehend by Someday. And KT all over the Blue Tigers. Even the challenge from Smab wasn't enough. And there goes Gorilla. That is nearly a clean ace for KT.
Och en GP.
KT Rolster for taking a fight
Supporta bot.
but a big mistake by Coup Tigers to not
Jag springer här istället.
with vision or a pick of some
Vad
kind
fan?
just allowed KT a free attempt
Varför
to
kan
Dragon
inte
Steel
smartkasta
and then a
ut?
full straight up 5v5 engagement.
You can't respond with the arrow. Then Ryzen goes down to top of the Dragon Knight. And at this point, Ku gets very greedy.
Kom Jocke.
The arrow is not as attractive, especially when it hits the Callisto running left.
Mjukt.
Oh wow, the play.
Poor positioning from the Veigar. Gorilla tries to save it, but he just dies inside the belly.
Kill.
Q-flash igen.
And then Someday comes with a huge apprehend.
Hello.
3-man apprehend, and it is lights out.
Hello.
Sunday score and
Eh.
the from Arrow did
Okay.
so much work.
Really?
Specifically, it was just a very poorly played setup by the Coup Tigers. They lost all of their zone control. And we mentioned how they're vulnerable to flanks because they actually
Worth sport in my life.
not a very mobile team composition with the Veigar and the Ashe, but they have tremendous setup. They sacrificed their setup and they allowed KT to then use the mobility of the Blanc Rockets and Callista to get in on them. But now they're trying
Ja men så är 300 ifrån att köpa. Kan man inte köpa någonting för man är full. Nej, Jocke har svikit oss, sålt Dorans.
Ja, jag var tvungen.
Det gjorde jag också.
Baron up minions, Ashe arrow down, so they're feeling pretty safe about this siege.
Yep. Score. Good trouble. Not as Smeb away. Has to burn his ult to stay alive.
Jag tror han kan springa.
So how much can KT get done with this Baron?
That's going to be the question. They already wasted it a little bit by sacrificing Someday right there, putting him in a vulnerable position. And so now we've got a little bit of waiting to do. One thing that's a bit seen the Aegis come out yet.
Jag tror det är
Decided to build a Frozen Heart in this game, which
går vi igenom någon gång.
don't think is the play against a Veigar.
But still, yeah, late game that Veigar is going to do extreme amounts of damage.
I can kind of understand it. If Kuro wants to use ultimate on Score to kill him, then Arrow not being Sunday or
Åh jävlar vad jag kommer göra dips nu alltså.
I also have to mention the frontline power of KT and how interesting it makes to late game fight. Because the Sunday and Score
Shit! No one saw that. He ulted. Shit.
Enough. Who just wants their blue buff right now? They're not going to get it though. Went over to Arrow, able to steal it with that.
Hey, det kanske är pen itemet sista. Så jävla säkert. Nej! Jag var så jävla taggad. Och nu kommer jag dö av tonen. Oh, really?
Och så överlever han också. Kom dig!
All but died. It seems like someday currently has the power spike over the 5-kill Smith, so we can in that direction. KT is really taking
what the fuck?
Off that dragon then bear.
Yeah, Spem has had to itemize a bit awkwardly for MR, however.
Jag var tvungen att dra en Johnny ult.
Switcheroo.
One-on-one between Someday and Smeb with Bureau versus areas, so we'll have to keep track of how that's going to go. Does finally buy a chain vest. That should be a bit more helpful. KT looks like they just want to push the lanes out.
Såg det där, Johan?
I mean, it's only 35 seconds or so until that next dragon comes up, so if the waves aren't pushing your favor, you're going to have a lot of
Victory, no shit.
On top of that, so the warning trinket itself was enough to reach your ward cap.